Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. Today we're playing in this gorgeous full lace wig. She comes courtesy of Eayon hair. We're going to be doing the ball cap stocking cap method. But first, here's a quick glimpse at the hair. She is water wave, 150% density, 20 inches in length, and they sent over a medium-sized cap with a light brown lace. Now normally I would opt for a medium brown, but this is going to work just fine for the sake of this video. As far as the ball cap method, I'm going to use a stocking cap. You can find these at your local beauty supply, and I'll have this linked down below as well as everything I use for this video. Now, if you watch my videos, you know I normally opt for the Got to Be Glued Free spray, and that's exactly what we're going to use today. You have other options. You can use the Got to Be Glued gel, you can use the black Got to Be Glued gel, or you can actually use actual hair glue as well. This for me is the easiest, and I find it to work the fastest. So I went ahead and applied a nice, generous coat around my entire hairline. I kind of went around the ear as well. And as you guys can see, it does not lay flush around the ear. So a little trick I picked up from Glamazante is to kind of poke a little bit of a hole in the ear area and kind of push your ear out of it. Now it's going to lay super flat and flush against your hair where the baby hair will sit, and that way it will be a super flawless application. I'm going to do this on both sides, and then of course we're going to go ahead and allow it to dry. As far as your drying time, it does take a long time if you're going to use a gel or an actual glue. With the spray, I believe it takes, I would guess, about 15 minutes. I kind of will just apply it and I will go and do other things and come back once it's completely dry. Normally you can feel to the touch that it does get a little bit firm when it's super dry. Here I went ahead and cut off the camera and went ahead and did other things. As I said, I allowed it to dry for about, I would say about 20 minutes. I came back and I applied my second layer. That one I did let get dry for maybe about 10 minutes, and then I got a little bit anxious. So I came back with the blow dryer. Now if you're going to blow dry it each time, make sure that you're doing it on a cool setting. I find that when I do it on a warm or hot setting, it does kind of make for a, I don't know, it just kind of gets a little bit white around the area. So for a more flawless finish, go with the cool setting or just allow it to air dry as I stated before. Once it's dry, take a nice sharp pair of scissors. The pair that I had before were not sharp, so I had to go ahead and switch them out. And now I'm just going ahead and cutting off the excess cap. Now you will know if it's dry because whenever you go ahead and start cutting, when you get close to where the glue or your spray is, if it's not dry, it's still going to, be easily to lift. In this case, it was definitely dry, and you guys can see that here. Now I'm going to work from side to side, cutting it around the ear. Kind of what cap is left back there kind of lays flat on its own. So you really don't have to cut or do anything in the back or near the nape of your neck. But if you choose to cut off the excess, you definitely can. You can sew it down. You can do whatever you want. Like I said, I just leave it there and it doesn't, bother me. It's not bulky. It doesn't interfere with anything, and it really doesn't move at all. Now with the scissors, I kind of lay them flat against my face and just kind of cut whatever will come up. In this case, it's just the excess cap that is not glued down. I kind of make sure it's even. It can get pretty tedious because you find yourself trying to be a perfectionist and cut more and cut more and cut more. And 30 minutes later, you're still cutting. So kind of just, get as much as you can, but don't obsess to the point that you're going too ham. As you guys can see, it started to get white around the hairline on the side. And that's because when you cut too much, it starts to literally bug and disturb the beautiful work that you've already done. This is the wig here. I did dye it on camera. I'll show you a little bit of a clip of that later, but the dye did not take. If you can kind of see, it does have like a berry burgundy kind of hint to it, but it's not burgundy the way it should be because the dye did not take. So we're going to go ahead and apply the wig. I did kind of form it on a mannequin a few days prior, but we're going to go ahead and, apply it and get it all fresh. I'm going to use that same Got to Be Glued spray to bond the wig down, and as you guys can see, it'll do an awesome job for that. Making sure to, bond down the baby hair, the sideburns, everything, and make sure that the entire lace is laying super well. I'm going to reform the baby hair using foam lotion on each side. Off camera, I did go ahead and tweeze out the hairline. I want it to be super thin and natural, but of course, if you want it, tweezed, if you don't want it tweezed, It's all about preference, so make sure you do what suits you. It did come pre-plucked if I did not mention that before. So at this point, I just wet it down while I have a scarf around the hairline, going ahead and setting that baby hair. And I'm going to just go ahead and add my wet. I absolutely love this product, and if you've been following me for a while, you know this is one of my favorite products to use to style my hair. And then I'm going to use a Tangle Teaser style brush to kind of clump the hair, and we're going to let that air dry. I absolutely love my Dim Dim brush before like clumped, like wash and go look. I feel like this brush does amazing. So with this hair, this one did come from Eayon, as I mentioned before. I love how full the texture is and curly it is. It does definitely have a super nice texture, and you guys see from the very beginning it did. So I did try to dye it with the box dye, and of course it did not take. I kind of feel like it's a hit or hit or miss when it comes to box dye working on human hair and wigs. Sometimes it'll take by itself, and sometimes you'll have to strip the texture. Now honestly, I didn't expect for it to go like super duper bright burgundy. I kind of just wanted that nice hint there so that when the hair is dry and curly, you could kind of see it and it just be a different color. But all I needed to do was strip the hair first. But I'm actually happy I didn't, because I love how full it is. I love how curly it is. The texture is very easy to manage. You guys know whenever you're going to comb out hair and add product, you're going to experience a little bit of shedding. But most importantly, whenever I dyed it and I rinsed the dye out, there was no excessive shedding in the sink. And even when I, you know, run my fingers through it or add product to it, I don't find like clumps and clumps and clumps of hair. Just normal shedding like you would with any other, you know, install that you have. I did opt for full baby hair all the way around, and I love the way it came out, mainly because I went ahead and customized it myself. It did come pre-plucked, and all the details on this wig are linked in the description box, but I did go ahead and add an extra. It's all about preference. If this is too plucked for you, then you know, do less, and if it's not plucked enough, then you do more. It's always a pleasure to work with Eayon, because I definitely feel like they have some gorgeous hair. It's always an amazing texture. It always lasts a long time for me, and it always is easy to maintain, which are some of the most important things when it comes to your bundles and your weaves and your wigs. So of course, make sure that you check them out. All the details on this lace wig and a link to shop are listed in the description bar. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.